Fantastic, splashing in the fishbowl. Back at you with another episode. And on today's episode, happy. Life has been lifing, and it's been real. Progress is going to be made every day. Shout out to that shine of mine riding with me one time. And yeah, y'all know I ain't gonna hold y'all up. We're gonna get right to it. Don't worry about the blinkers. Don't nobody make no comments about the blinkers. Being safe here. But today we is on Israel Rebuked. Israel Rebuked. Now the angel of the Lord, Judges, chapter 2, Israel rebuked. Now the angel of the Lord came upon from Gilead to Bachem, and he said, I brought you up out of Egypt and led you into the land which I have sworn to your fathers. Sworn to your fathers. And I said, I would never break my covenant with you. And as for you, you shall make no covenant with the inhabitants of this land. You shall tear down their altars, but you have not obeyed me. What is this you have done? Therefore I also said, I will not drive them out before you, but they will become as thorns in your side, and their gods will be a snare to you. When the angel of the Lord spoke these words to all the sons of Israel, the people lifted up their voices and wept. So they named that place Bachem, and there they sacrificed to the Lord. Joshua dies. When Joshua had dismissed the people, the sons of Israel went up to his inheritance to possess the land. The people served the Lord all the days of Joshua and all the days of the elders who survived Joshua, who had seen all the great work of the Lord which he had done for Israel. Then Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110, and they buried him in the territory of his inheritance in Timnath-Heres, in the hill of the country of Ephraim, north of Mount Gash. All the generations also were gathered to their fathers, and there arose another generation after them who did not know the Lord, nor yet the work which he had done for Israel. Israel serves Baals. Then the sons of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and served the Baals. And they forsook the Lord, the God of their fathers, who had brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods from among the gods of the people who were among them, and bowed themselves down to them. Thus they provoked the Lord to anger. So they forsook the Lord and served Baal and the Ashtaroth. The anger of the Lord burned against Israel, and he gave them into the hands of the plunderers, who plundered them. He sold them into the hands of their enemies around them, so they could no longer stand before them. Wherever they went, the hand of the Lord was against them for evil, as the Lord had spoken, and as the Lord had sworn to them, so that they were severely distressed. Then the Lord raised up judges who delivered them from the hands of those who plundered them. Yet they did not listen to their judges, for they played the harlot after other gods, and bowed themselves down to them. They turned aside quickly from the way in which their fathers had walked. In obeying the commandments of the Lord, they did not do as their fathers. When the Lord raised up judges for them, the Lord was with the judge and delivered them from the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For the Lord was moved to pity by their groaning because of those who oppressed and afflicted them. But it came about when the judge died that they would turn back and act more corruptly than their fathers, and following other gods to serve them and bow down to them. They did not abandon their practices or their stubborn ways. So the anger of the Lord burned against Israel, and he said, because this nation has transgressed my covenant, which I commanded their fathers, and has not listened to my voice, I also will no longer drive out before them any of the nations which Joshua left when he died, in order to test Israel by them, whether they will keep the way of the Lord to walk in it as their fathers did or not. So the Lord allowed those nations to remain. not driving them out quickly, he did not give them into the hands of Joshua. So that was chapter 2. Make sure we got some good understanding, some good blessings, and just get some more word in us. We're going to go ahead and keep on. Chapter 3, that was pretty quick. So chapter 3, adultery leads to servitude. AC on full blast. Full blast. 104-degree weather. It's hot. Now these, you gonna cool me off? Alrighty then, I got a pool to dive in. A cool pool. He just told me off. Alright, back on subject, back to the word. Judges chapter 3. Adultery leads to servitude. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to test Israel by them. That is, all who had not experienced any of the wars of Canaan, only in order that the generations of the sons of Israel might be taught war, those who had not experienced it formerly. These nations are the 5 lords of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Sodonaeans, and the Hivites, who lived in the Mount Lebanon, from the Mount Baal Hermon as far as Lebanon Hamah. They were for testing Israel to find out if they would obey the commandments of the Lord, which he had commanded their fathers through Moses. The son of Israel lived among the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And they took their daughters for themselves as wives, and gave their own daughters to their sons, and served their gods. The sons of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, and forgot the Lord their God, and served the Baals and the Asheroths. Then the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, so he sold them into the hands of the Cushan Ristam, king of the Mesopotamia. And the sons of Israel served Cushan Ristam 8 years. The first judge delivered Israel. When the sons of Israel cried to the Lord raised up a deliverer for the sons of Israel to deliver them. Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel. When he went out to war, the Lord gave Cushan Ristam, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand, so that he prevailed over Cush Ristam. Then the Lord had rest for 40 years. Then the land had rest for 40 years, and Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died. Now the sons of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord, so the Lord strengthened Elgon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. And he gathered him to himself the sons of Ammon and Amalek, and he went and defeated Israel, and they possessed the city of palm trees. The sons of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years. So they served the first king 8 years, and they served the second king 18 years. Ehud delivers from Moab. But when the sons of Israel cried to the Lord raised up a deliverer for them, Ehud, the son of Gera, the Benjamite, a left-handed man. And the sons of Israel sent tribute by him to Eglon, the king of Moab. Ehud made himself a sword which had 2 edges, a cubit in length, and he bound it on his right thigh under his cloak. He presented the tribute to Eglon, king of Moab. Now Eglon was a very fat man. It came about when he had finished presenting the tribute that he sent away the people who had carried the tribute. But he himself turned back from the idols which were at Gilgal and said, I have a secret message for you, O king. And he said, keep silence. And all who attended him left him. Ehud came to him while he was sitting alone in his cool roof chamber. And Ehud said, I have a message from God for you. And he arose from his seat. Ehud stretched out his left hand, took the sword from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly. The handle also went in after the blade, and the fat closed over the blade, for he did not draw the sword out of his belly. And the refuse came out. Then Ehud went out into the vestibule and shut the doors of the roof chamber behind him and locked them. When he had gone out, his servants came and looked, and behold, the doors of the roof chamber were locked. And they said, he is only relieving himself in the cool room. They waited until they became anxious, but behold, he did not open the door of the roof chamber. Therefore they took the key and opened it, and behold, their master had fallen to the floor dead. Now Ehud escaped while they were delaying, and he passed by the idols and escaped to Seirah. It came about when he had arrived that he blew the trumpet in the hill country of Ephraim, and the sons of Israel went down with him from the hill country, and he was in front of them. He said to them, pursue them, for the Lord has given your enemies, the Moabites, into your hands. So they went down after him and seized the fords of the Jordan opposite Moab, and did not allow anyone to cross. They struck down at that time about 10,000 Moabites, all robust and valiant men, and no one escaped. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land was undisturbed for 8 years. Shagmar delivers from the Philistines. After him came Shagmar, the son of Anak, who struck down 600 Philistines with an ox goad, and he also saved Israel. So that was chapter 2 and chapter 3 of Judges. Hope y'all got something from that. Don't forget to pick up your Bible and read it yourself. Don't just listen to your mama, your grandma, your uncle, your cousin, the preacher, the pastor, the deaconess, the deacon. Pick it up and read it for yourself. Somewhere in this good book it said, if you draw close to God, God will draw close to you. And I must say that I believe it's true. All right, so we're going to take a look at history and increasing our financial IQ, because we want more money too. When you look back at history, it is easy to see the rules of money changing in the U.S. and the world. You already know why saving money is for the financial naive. This change took place in 1971. In 1943, the U.S. government, desperate for money to fight World War II, passed a law that allowed the government to take money out of workers' paycheck before the worker got paid. In other words, the government got paid before the worker got paid. Today in America, if you have a job, you have no protection against taxes. You do not need a CPA, because a CPA can do little to protect your money. But if you own a business or are an investor, there are many loopholes in the government's net you can swim through. I will go into some of those loopholes in a later chapter. As you know, in 1974, workers needed to become investors, saving for their retirement. This gave rise to the 401k. The problem with a 401k is that the government plugged this loophole for workers too. Let me explain. When a person works for money, his or her income is taxed as earned income, the most highly taxed income. When a worker withdraws money from his or her 401k plan, that income comes out as, you guessed it, earned income. Guess what interest from saving is taxed at? Once again, earned income. This means a person who works hard, saves money, gets out of debt, and saves for retirement in a 401k plan is working for the most highly taxed income, earned income. This is not financially intelligent. People following these rules have their pockets picked clean by predators standing behind them, and demonstrate a low financial intelligence because they give away a large percentage of their income. A financially intelligent person does not want a big paycheck. A financially educated person would rather be paid royalties or dividends because taxes are lower on their type of income. A knowledgeable investor at least knows enough to invest for portfolio or passive income. It is important to note that tax laws are different for different people. Make sure to seek the advice of the qualified tax attorneys and tax accountants before making financial decisions. In 1913, the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States was formed. This date is possibly the most important date in U.S. history, when the rules of global money really began to change. This is the date people who work for a paycheck should remember as the beginning of the attack on their personal wealth. First of all, the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States is not a government entity. That's a myth. Neither is it a U.S. entity. It is a bank owned by some of the richest people in the world. When the Federal Reserve Bank was formed, the richest people in the world took control of the money system, the richest country in the world, and then changed the rules of money. Today I hear Americans demanding that the government protect Americans' job and Americans' interest. Occasionally, pause for the cause. Yes, Nina. Yes. Yes, I'm already loaded. Okay, so that'll work. Yeah, there's no time on the DOL. No, I'm looking. There's no time on it. Yeah, yes. Okay, no problem. All right, thank you. All right, guys. We finish this up. We got to roll. Get up. Just a little bit, but we finna hit it.
All right, I'm going to see.
All right, love you too. When the Federal Reserve Bank was formed, the richest people in the world took control of the money system, the richest country in the world, and then changed the rules of money. Today I hear Americans demanding that the government protect American jobs and American interests. Occasionally I hear people say buy American or support American business. Well, it's too late for that. Those feeble cries from a desperate people in 1913, the richest people in the world took control of the world's money supply by taking control of the world's richest economy, the U.S. economy. They changed the rules and did not tell anyone. Today, the U.S. is technically a bankrupt economy, a treasury stuffed full with its own IOUs known as bonds or T-bills, bills that the children of the future generations will have to pay. This stealing of wealth goes on as billions of people go to work in the business of the rich, save money in the banks of the rich, and invest in assets of the rich, i.e. stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, via the investment bankers to the rich. The system is intentionally designed to take and control as much of your money as possible, legally. Years ago in the early 1980s, I read a great book entitled Grunch of Giants. The word grunch is an acronym for Gross Universal Cash Heist. The book was written by Dr. R.B. Buckminster Fuller. Considered one of the greatest geniuses of our time. I had the good fortune to personally study with Dr. Fuller 3 times just before he died in 1983. He has had a tremendous impact on my life as he has on many other people who have read his works and studied him. Harvard University considers him one of the most significant alumni, and American Institute of Architects recognizes him as one of the greatest designers of our time. If you can find Dr. Fuller's book, Grunch of Giants, I believe it will make it a little clearer how the game of money was stolen from the people and shielded from discovery by our educational system. I believe you will find the book disturbing, especially when you look at what is going on with oil, war, banks, the economy, and education today. In the book, Dr. Fuller states that the government puts their hands in your pocket via taxation and turns that money over to their friends who control multiple national corporations. In other words, our elected officials, congressmen, and senators do not represent the people, they represent big business. Surprise! In 2003, President George W. Bush and the Republican Congress literally forced through the prescription drug benefit bill. This bill is one of the most expensive bills put through Congress in the last 20 years. The cost to American taxpayers is well over $500 billion. Soon after the bill was passed, a number of congressmen and staff were hired by the drug companies, some at multi-million-dollar salaries. This is an example of brunch in action. Other books you may want to read on this subject are The Dollar Crisis by Richard Dawkins, The Battle for the Soul of Capitalism by John Bogle, that's B-O-G-L-E, Empire of Debt by Bill Bonner, B-O-N-E-R, and Addison Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins, not Wiggins. I believe the value of looking at these four books is that each author comes from a different discipline and a different point of view. It is not a single group of lunatic friends discontent criticizing the system. For example, Dr. Fuller was a futuristic. Richard Dawkins is an international banker. John Bogle is a founder of the Vanguard Group. Bill Bonner and Addison Wiggins are international investment advisors. 4 different books from 4 different disciplines, all basically saying the same thing. People are playing games with money and stealing it legally. So we already know it's a money game. We're just trying to increase our financial intelligence in this money game. So hope you got something out of that today. Y'all know I'll be back with some more. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, tune in for all that good stuff. And as I say, y'all have a good day.